Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here. It is Saturday, and I have the 3 times structure build. So what we did was yesterday we took this starter deck Codebreaker. We went ahead, we added this deck to our draft boxes, and I said we'd go ahead and make a modern 3 times build from this. So I've got it, but there's one little caveat. We would have a 15 card extra deck if this little guy wasn't currently on the ban list. So we cannot use one of the cards that was in this deck. Just happens over time he got really good to the point that we're no longer allowed to play it. So as far as the draft is concerned, he'll still be in there. He'll still be draftable if we have extra copies to put in. But as far as today's deck, not going to be an issue. So that's it. Let's get you guys a list. So we went 40 cards main. We're going to start off with 3 backup secretaries. So again, if you're not super familiar with Cyberse, a lot of them work together very well. It's a new creature typing that was added right around the time of Link summoning. And again, they do great things. The way this one works, if you control another monster that is a Cyberse or any Cyberse monster, you may special summon this card from the hand. But you may only special summon backup secretary cards once per turn this way. So again, it's just a good once per turn. It's a great extension. Next up, we're going to be using Bitron. We're going to go 3 on this as well. This guy is not that special, but he is. So normal, 2-star Cyberse, 2000 defense. These are really the things you need to know. Outside of that, as we go through the cards, you'll start to understand like how he evolves immediately into the Bit Trooper. And honestly, you can see, like, again, the whole face is still there. It's evolved a little bit. This is the evolved version of this card. And what it does now is it's a 15 by 2K. With an effect that says if you, or that you could send a level 2 or lower monster card from the hand to the graveyard. If you do special summon this from the hand, you may only use this effect of Bit Trooper once per turn. And again, it is basically just evolving that into this. So it's good. There's a bit of synergy. It stays Cyberse. It's all good. Cyberse White Hat. Nice little cowboy getup. If you control 2 or more monsters of the same type, and in this deck it's all going to be Cyberse, you may special summon this from the hand. You can only special summon Cyberse White Hats once per turn this way. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard as link material, you may make monsters your opponent controls at the time of doing this lose 1,000 attack value until the end of the current turn. So again, going into your link summonings, this is obviously trying to gear you up for a link 3 or higher. Cyberse White Hat is going to be there with the debuffs. Another good starter for this deck is actually the Link Slayer. 5-star 2K attack value, Cyberse again. If you don't control any monsters, it's a free special summon from the hand. And it doesn't require your opponent to have any, so it's like Cyber Dragon, just different. Once per turn, though, you may discard up to 2 cards, target that many spell traps on the field, and destroy them. This guy's probably one of my favorite Cyberse cards because he's a great starter, he has great abilities, and then again, you got to count in other cards like the Backup Secretary and the White Hat. If you led with the Link Slayer, you could go straight into all 3 of those, clear up some back row with the Slayer, and then go into a debuff Link 3 real quick. So it's just perfect. We're also going to use 3 copies of the Leotron. Just basic vanilla, 4-star Cyberse, 2K. And again, sort of like maybe this is like Bitron changing into like a Leo. Showing that like it's almost like a Digimon. This guy could just transform in a bunch of different ways. It's good. It raises the power cap and makes it so that you'll see. We play Link Spider. There's the joke. The last monster in the main deck is going to be Widget Kid. So we went with the full Cyberse main and forewent all the tech characters that you can find in this structure deck, and I think you'll agree. Widget Kid is either good as an extension or as a starter. When his card is normal or special summoned, you may special summon 1 Cyberse from hand and defense. You may only use this effect once per turn. And again, so like you could go Link Slayer, you know, backup, secretary, Widget Kid as the normal, play another backup secretary through this, drop the Cybers White Hat, and start populating the field real quick. It's also a good way to get Bitron and Leotron out if you want to do some Link Spider plays. Moving to the spell traps, this deck gave us, I'll show you the list again, but this deck gave us so many cool, just tech spell traps. Even the Cynet cards, they weren't terrible. I did decide not to play them. But a lot of this was just super tech and is simple stuff. So like 3 Books of Moon. Book of Moon still does stuff, can still shut off certain loops. It's maybe not as important in today's game as it used to be, or as it is in Speed Duel, or any of the like the different Time Wizard formats. But Book of Moon's still a good card. Probably always will be. I do find myself running 2 Dark Holes. Again, we could run up to 3, but I felt 2 was appropriate here. Again, destroy all monsters on the field. It's just a good board breaker for the opponent. You do get to use 1 copy of Monster Reborn, because again, this is limited to 1. We do want to tap against the back row a little bit, so some Mystical Space Typhoons. Again, we can discard these through effects like Link Slayer 2. These are not as prioritized as you might think. They're just cool, and I use them. Last spell card, Scapegoats. Again, if Link Karibo would have still been in here, I probably would have subbed out one of my MSTs or both or 2 of my MSTs for Scapegoats and maybe swap the 3rd MST over to a Dark Hole, since Link Slayer is a card. And I would have played a little more towards using Link, Karibo, and Spider in that manner, since tokens can be used and they would count as normal monsters. And it's just good to have as like a 1 of defense. We still have Link Spiders, so you can still pop off a bunch of little Links real quick. It's not terrible. Moving to the traps, went pretty utilitarian here, so I got my 3 Bottomless Trap Holes. It really tries to like stop the opponent. Playing 3 copies Compulsory Evacuation Device, being able to target Return to Hand or target Bounce, still very good. And again, I'm not super up to date on all the current combos in the like competitive scene, but this is good. This is something that you definitely could see yourself playing. And then 3 copies of Torrential Tribute. Again, Torrential Tribute just doing great things. When a monsters would be summoned, you get to destroy the whole field. Again, 3-2 split between this Dark Hole feels right. You have the respondability, then you have doing it on your own turn. The fact that Link Slayer on a fresh board can just start these loops by jumping to the field for free and allowing all the other cards to then help build Link boards. It's pretty good. 40 card main deck. I'm going to try to do this, and maybe we'll bring this back a hair. And then, go ahead, screenshot or pause plus notes. And I'll be right back with the extra deck in a moment. All right, and we're back. So, extra deck, 12 cards. Again, we did get 5 cards in the initial extra deck. And seeing as it's 3 times and the one's banned, obviously we can't use them. So you just play as many as you can of everything. First thing you're going to play is Decode Talker, and as you guys probably noticed, I'm using, the Dual Power alternate artwork, because it just looks pretty cool. 2+ effects monsters to make this guy. Gains 500 for every monster he points to. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a card or cards that you control, as a quick effect, you may tribute a monster that this card points to negate the activation and destroy the initial card. So again, pretty good stuff. You're going to triple up on your Link Spiders, of course. These are just any 1 normal monster. Again, we can use the Scapegoat tokens because it doesn't say non-tokens. Once per turn, you can special summon a level 4 lower normal from the hand to a zone this points to. This guy is great to start loops, or maybe you're going to play a bunch of the other cards first. You're going to go like Link Slayer, backup, Widget, and then maybe Widget plays Bitron, and then you go Bitron into Link Spider. Link Spider generates Leotron. You could generate another Link Spider, or you could go ahead and just keep him for power. and go ahead and get the rest of them moving into a link 3 like the decode, or of course transcode later. Totally up to you guys. Next up, Penistag. He's going to be our link 2. Penistag is any 2 effect monsters. If a linked monster attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage, battle damage to your opponent. Again, if you have co-linked, I'm going to assume that it works for both of them. I'm not super 100% on that. Most of them will say if they're linked. Just means he's pointing to them. Transcode Talker. 2+ effect monsters to make. Link 3, 2300. While this card is co-linked While this card is co-linked, it and its co-linked monsters all gain 500 attack. And it's not per co-link, it's just while they're co-linked. Also, your opponents cannot target any of them with card effects, which is also very good. You can target link 3 or lower Cyberse link monster in the graveyard with a different name. Special summon it to a zone that this card points to. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this except Cyberse. You can only use this effect once per turn. And again, we went with a fully Cyberse build, and it just so happens to work out that everything in the extra deck is also all Cyberse. So again, the deck does do a bit of interplay. We do miss the fact that we can't play Link Karibo. It would be great. But again, just, realistically, we have to build this for the current ban list. The current ban list does not allow him. So this is the deck. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. This is the 3 times, I guess, again, it's a modern build. It's not really historical. Super happy to have added this to the draft. And I can't wait for us to start actually drafting some decks and getting some play footage for you guys. So, if you guys want to support the channel, it's as easy as like, comment, sub. If you want to go a step further and do something that helps a little more directly, helps us get more cards, more sleeves, more things to open to give you guys more content, I will always leave the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description. But for right now, guys, just do me the one favor. Go enjoy the rest of your weekend. All right? Have a great one, and see you guys next time. Later.